Hello everyone, welcome to my channel for today's new video. The dynamic relationship between Kelly Severide and Stella Kidd has been a cornerstone of Chicago Fire captivating audiences with its drama, chemistry, and resilience. However, as the show's 12th season concludes, the writing seems to be on the wall. It might be time for Severide and Kidd to take a break from their marriage, at least for now. This difficult realization stems from an accumulation of unresolved issues, missteps, and the undeniable fact that their relationship as it stands may be doing more harm than good. Since tying the knot in the Chicago Fire Season 10 final, Severide and Kidd's marriage has been marked by one crisis after another. The couple barely had time to bask in their honeymoon phase before being attacked during their getaway. From near-death experiences to tense reunions, their relationship has been a roller coaster of emotional and physical challenges. The most notable blow came in Season 12 when Severide abruptly left Firehouse 51 to attend an OFI camp, only to disappear again later for another arson investigation. For fans who have rooted for Severide through thick and thin, these ongoing challenges are disheartening. Their love is undeniable, but love alone isn't enough to sustain a healthy marriage. Over time, the toll of constant turmoil has left the relationship teetering on the brink, raising the question, how much more can they endure before resentment sets in? One of the most glaring issues in Severide and Kidd's marriage is their unhealthy tendency to thrive in chaos. While overcoming adversity can strengthen bonds, their relationship seems to function only under duress. This dynamic became increasingly evident during Severide's OFI stint. Kidd, determined to avoid another abandonment, attempted to control the situation, only for Severide to resist and ultimately prioritize his career over her feelings. The pattern continued in Season 12 when Severide returned briefly before leaving once again for an arson case. While his return for Matt Casey and Sylvie Brett's wedding hinted at a renewed commitment, it felt like too little too late. Trust, a cornerstone of any marriage, had already been severely damaged. Severide's inability, or unwillingness, to communicate his plans reflects a larger issue of inconsideration toward Kidd's feelings and well-being. The tipping point for many fans came in the Chicago Fire Season 12 final, Never Say Goodbye. In a seemingly innocuous moment, Severide casually brought up the idea of having children after Kidd received a text about baby Julia from Sylvie Casey. While he acknowledged that starting a family would require sacrifices from Kidd, his timing and delivery were deeply problematic. Given their tumultuous history, Severide should have approached the subject with more care and intention. Instead, his casual remark underscored a recurring pattern of thoughtlessness. For Kidd, who has already endured his unexplained absences and lack of communication, this suggestion likely felt like another instance of her husband prioritizing his desires over her needs. Kidd's lack of enthusiasm about having children with Severide is entirely understandable. Beyond the practical implications, such as sidelining her from calls and delaying her initiatives like Girls on Fire, there's the emotional baggage of her husband's unreliability. Severide's history of ghosting Kidd, even after their marriage, raises serious doubts about his readiness to be a dependable partner, let alone a father. It's worth noting that Kidd herself has made mistakes in the past, such as briefly walking away from their relationship. However, these actions occurred before their marriage, making Severide's post-wedding behavior even more concerning. Marriage is supposed to signify a deeper commitment, yet Severide's actions often suggest otherwise. While it's painful to admit, the prospect of Severide and Kidd salvaging their marriage seems increasingly unlikely, at least for now. Showrunner Andrea Newman has hinted that their relationship will remain rocky in Season 13, which feels like a continuation of the same exhausting narrative. Rather than dragging the couple through more conflict, it might be time for Chicago Fire to explore the possibility of a separation. This doesn't mean that their love story has to end forever. Other Chicago Fire couples, such as Matt Casey and Sylvie Brett, have shown that a temporary break can be beneficial. By taking time apart, Severide and Kid could gain the clarity needed to address their individual issues and potentially rebuild their relationship on a stronger foundation. The idea of Severide and Kid separating isn't about giving up on them as a couple. It's about recognizing the need for change. Their current dynamic, rooted in chaos and miscommunication, isn't sustainable. Continuing down this path will only lead to more pain and frustration for both characters, and for the viewers who have invested in their journey. A break could allow Kid to focus on her professional goals and personal growth without the constant strain of her marriage. Similarly, Severide could use the time to reflect on his actions, priorities, and the kind of partner he wants to be. If they eventually find their way back to each other, it could be as stronger, more mature individuals who are better equipped to handle the challenges of marriage. The potential separation of Severide and Kid doesn't have to be viewed as a failure or the end of their story. Rather, it could be seen as a necessary evolution. Relationships are complex, especially when layered with the high-stakes, emotionally charged world of Chicago Fire. Severide and Kid have repeatedly proven their love for one another, but love alone cannot solve the fundamental issues plaguing their marriage. The real question isn't whether they care for each other, they clearly do, but whether they can create a relationship that fosters mutual growth, trust, and stability. Right now, the answer appears to be no. A significant obstacle in their marriage is the noticeable divergence in their priorities. Kid has consistently worked to carve out her own space in the fire department, championing programs like Girls on Fire and proving herself as a capable leader. Severide, on the other hand, has often seemed aimless or overly absorbed in his own career pursuits, leaving Kid to pick up the pieces or make sacrifices to accommodate his choices. This disparity was glaringly evident when Severide disappeared for his OFI assignment without much consideration for how it would affect Kid. He treated the decision as something that only concerned him, failing to understand, or care, how his absence would destabilize their newlywed life. While Severide's skill as a firefighter and investigator is undeniable, his actions suggest a tendency to prioritize his work over his marriage, leaving Kid feeling unsupported and undervalued. These competing priorities are a major reason why their marriage continues to flounder. Both partners need to feel like they are on equal footing, but Kid's efforts to control the chaos in their relationship have been met with resistance from Severide, who continues to act as though his decisions are his alone to make. Kid's emotional struggles have been a recurring theme throughout their marriage. From being blindsided by Severide's abrupt decisions to nearly losing her life in the line of duty, she has endured a great deal. Yet, instead of finding solace in her marriage, she has often been left to navigate these challenges alone. The scene in the Chicago Fire Season 12 final, where Severide casually mentions wanting children, is a prime example of how Kid's needs and emotions are frequently overlooked. For Severide, the suggestion may have seemed like a natural progression in their relationship, but for Kid, it likely felt like yet another instance of him disregarding the emotional weight of their past and present struggles. Kid's hesitation to embrace the idea of children isn't rooted in a lack of love for Severide, but rather in a deep-seated fear that she cannot rely on him when it truly matters. Becoming parents would add an entirely new layer of complexity to their already fragile relationship, and Kid appears to understand this far better than Severide does. While Kid has grown significantly over the course of the series, Severide's development has been more stagnant. He has remained largely the same person, a brilliant yet impulsive firefighter who struggles to fully commit to anything outside of his job. His inability to adapt or change has been a recurring source of frustration for both Kid and viewers who have watched their relationship deteriorate. It's not that Severide doesn't love Kid. His feelings for her have always been evident, but his actions don't align with the level of care and consideration a marriage demands. He continues to prioritize his own needs and desires, often at Kid's expense, and seems unwilling or unable to confront the deeper issues in their relationship. The decision to bring up children so casually in the Season 12 final is emblematic of this problem. It highlights his lack of awareness about the emotional weight such a conversation carries, especially given their history of miscommunication and unresolved conflicts. If Severide and Kid are ever to have a healthy, lasting relationship, they both need to take significant steps toward growth. For Severide, this means learning to prioritize his marriage and genuinely consider Kid's feelings and needs. He must recognize that his actions have consequences and that being a good partner requires more than just love. It requires effort, empathy, and accountability. For Kid, the challenge lies in finding her voice and standing firm in her boundaries. While she has made strides in asserting herself, she often falls into the role of trying to fix or control the chaos in their relationship, which only exacerbates the imbalance between them. Kid deserves a partner who supports her ambitions and respects her autonomy, and she shouldn't have to compromise her own happiness or goals to accommodate Severide's shortcomings. A separation could provide both characters with the space and perspective they need to address these issues individually. Severide might come to realize how much he has taken Kid for granted, while Kid could explore what she truly wants without the weight of their marital struggles holding her back. Moreover, a break would allow Chicago Fire to reinvigorate both characters with fresh storylines. Severide could dive deeper into his work with OFI or face new challenges that force him to grow as a person, while Kid could focus on expanding Girls on Fire or advancing her career in the fire department. These arcs could not only enrich their individual character development, but also set the stage for a potential reunion that feels earned and authentic. While it's difficult to say goodbye to a couple that has meant so much to fans, sometimes letting go is the only way to move forward. Severide and Kid's relationship has reached a point where the cycle of conflict and reconciliation is no longer compelling. It's exhausting. By taking a step back and allowing the characters to grow independently, Chicago Fire can breathe new life into their stories and potentially pave the way for a stronger, healthier relationship down the line. For now, though, it's clear that Severide and Kid need to part ways. Whether this separation is temporary or permanent, it's a necessary step toward healing and growth for both characters. After everything they've been through, they deserve a chance to find peace, whether that's together or apart.